Well, it's Thursday, which means it's time for Florida Weekly.
Yeah, Eric Raditz is calling in live right now. Eric, thank you very much for coming on the show. Oh, we got the video this time. Wow, even better.
Hey.
And here ourselves.
How's it going, everybody?
Going well. Thank you very much for now coming into the show this way. In your arts section, we're talking about a guy that I actually met at one of your film groups. He makes documentaries, but doesn't only do it for the purpose of making the documentary. He does a lot of good for the communities that he captures on video as well.
Yeah, and so those of you who are familiar with John Bafar, he's certainly no stranger to the Florida filmmaking scene. He's been doing all kinds of works with Walter Cronkite, Eric Lindbergh, Norma Miller, John Lack, who helped found MTV, and more. His latest endeavor has one thing in his sights, and that is peace. And yes, he started Peace Vision. It's a for-profit venture, but it's poised to be different in that it's doing good. And especially with all the bad news, some actually violent and sad news out there, he believes that there should be more peace, and it's certainly idealistic, but he thinks he can make a difference with Peace Vision. We sit down and see just exactly how he plans on making it a vehicle for good. So peace certainly is John Bafar's vision in the realms of filmmaking.
Very cool. And you know, in your business section, one of the things that is incredibly hard for a lot of us is being able to stay focused. There's so much stuff going on in our world, but you sat down and talked with an expert, a physiology expert and author of this actual article.
Yeah, and so when it comes to being successful in the business world, we know that passion is so important, confidence is important, but how much do we consider self-discipline being important? You really need to be that way in order to stay focused on ways to achieve your goal. It's so important. So we sit down and we find out some tips on how to make sure that we maintain our self-discipline to make a successful business.
Yeah, a lot of important information there. Going back to a filmmaker, a much more famous one, Spike Lee. You guys are previewing his new movie, Da 5 Bloods.
Yeah, and so for those of you who know Spike Lee and his type of work, he's certainly the filmmaker who likes to keep it real, known for first coming onto the independent filmmaking scene in 1986 with Do the Right Thing. He's also done More Better Blues, Malcolm X, 6-time Oscar-nominated Black Klansman. But his latest isn't coming to the theaters, it's coming to Netflix, and it's coming out June 12th. It's called Da 5 Bloods. It's about 5 African-American soldiers who fight side by side, come back to the United States, and in their later years, they decide to go back to Vietnam to find some gold they had left behind that they're going to dig up. In addition to that, a bunch of other fresh to stream, including one, King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson, SNL, Artemis Fowl on Disney+, and much more. If you're looking for what's fresh to stream, we have you covered.
Yeah, some good options there.
Okay, and usually this is the time when we would talk about what you're streaming, what you want to watch at home, but this week we actually have some things going on. Things are starting to open back up. So, Eric, if people want to go out, what can they do?
They have some options, and at Florida Weekly, we are also very encouraged as we're seeing more and more things come in that we can do not just indoors anymore. We're being safe, we're social distancing, but with a lot opening up, we have a lot of options. We, of course, still have a couple of virtual options, including Wynton Marsalis concert and Lady Gaga. But if you want to get outdoors safely, there's also comedy shows, there's art shows like the one you see on that cover, Rumors to Reality, downtown in Sidney Byrne Davis Arts Center, and actually plenty more. So I hope you guys are being safe out there, and we sure are here at Florida Weekly. You can pick us up on lines and on stands in your device for a fresh look of all things happening in town and virtually.
Well, Eric definitely said it there. If you do decide to go out and enjoy yourself, make sure that you do it safely. Eric, it's good to see your face. Thanks again for coming on the show, and stay healthy.
Good to see you. Keep doing it. We appreciate it. I've been watching you guys every day. I appreciate all you guys do over there. Thank you.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. Still more to come on the show.